Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Trackmania, track of the morning to you laddies. Let's see what we got going on in the... Well, let's see our ranking yesterday. Honestly, that last run we had was a miracle. Excuse me, why are we on July? Send a carrier pigeon, please, to Ubisoft. I do not wish to be on July's track of the day. There we go. I probably clicked the wrong thing. I'm not going to blame them. We're loading it up. Any moment now. We should reach the leaderboards from yesterday. What an exciting prospect for us that we'll get to the level where we'll be able to see how we did. At any given moment in the near future, the smoke signal from Ubisoft Towers coming out. We were top 5. If you thought I threw yesterday, we were top 5 in British Columbia. Top 86 in the egg card, despite barely getting the gold. Today, we're just mad about Saffron, and she's just mad about me. So we got a new channel on the Discord that is specifically for the track of the day, so that it doesn't get muddled up with all the other Trackmania strategy talk. Let me see what we got here. There's basically no dirt roads today. I find this track very cursed. There's a smooth edge on this track. I don't mind this track. Tippy tap of the steering. No sliding is big as well. That's unfortunate for me, unless I keep doing it by accident. Today's track of the day rating. I appreciate this, Jerwy. We've got a nice little scale here. It appears to be somewhere between 6 and 8, I would say. It's somewhere between 6 and 8. There's like a react. You can click on the number that you think that this track is... Oh, GPS forward. Excuse me? That's interesting. You can basically you give a user review of the track in the Discord now, which is very helpful for me. So somewhere between a 6 to an 8 is kind of... That seems good. This seems good. This is a very interesting, you know, Tony Hawk's uphill jam. Very tight dirt up here. Why do I feel like this is like a Top Gear driving challenge? Like drive a Formula 1 car on like a tightrope. Seems very, very tight. I don't know if that's a cut or if that's the track. Seems interesting though. A lot of Tron style artistry here. Pretty long track. Maybe not. Just under a minute. Seems like this is a prickly track for us, but we'll see. You know, we got lots of time left. No reason to be upset. It's like driving through the Massey Tunnel on Cyber Bowling Night. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, quite frankly. Okay, we're almost over the edge. We're just learning. You know how it is. We're just walking the course. We're just walking the course right now. We're not worried really about our performance. Most important thing is that we're just hanging tough, staying hungry. This is not, it's not a cut, I think. That is deliberately, correctly the way that you're supposed to go. I gotta say, except for that, it's actually been a pretty easy track for us so far. Has not been particularly difficult. Mind you, our performance rate here, we got super lucky. That's probably, I was just gonna say, I think that's probably a silver. It's pretty early. It's only, it's about noon Pacific time. So the track has only been running for, couple hours, so I wouldn't look too much into our ranking there. But honestly, I think this is that was the same thing I did last time. Honestly, for right now, this seems like a track that, if I'm being straight up with you, is a little easier than it looks. Like, I think it looks pretty hard, but in reality, doesn't actually seem to be all that bad. But I don't know. It depends, you know, what are we looking for? Are we looking for author? Are we looking for gold? The scuttlebutt on the Discord appears to be that the goldie is easy and the author is a little tough. But you know what? That's pretty... that's standard. Basically. But we have not had good luck getting author medals recently. Probably wouldn't recommend that. We haven't had good luck getting the author medals recently. It would be nice for us to maybe... luck out a little bit. Or maybe persevere. Maybe we don't need to luck out. Maybe we can just persevere. Cut 2 seconds off our time. Definitely did not expect to be in the gold tier there. And you know what? I actually learned a lot from yesterday's track of the day. even though it was obviously a little spicy. I learned a lot from yesterday's track of the day. One of the things I learned is that, honestly, just play against opponents is a pretty good option if you're just trying to, like, figure out what lines to run on a track. Because you see the difference between gold, silver, and bronze, like, super easily. You want to cut back hard on this one. Yeah. It was not a good corner, but it was better than the previous times we've taken it. So I honestly think on tough tracks, that's actually like a pretty good piece of advice, piece of feedback that I would give to myself. Obviously, you know, when you slam into the guardrail, going speeds of 700, wouldn't necessarily recommend that as a course of action. There we go. This one feels good. Okay, never mind. We got to give ourselves those verbal cues, you know what I mean? Diagonal down. Tighten the corner, maybe a little off the gas. Then we want to exit a little bit. Yeah. Okay, diagonal down. Keep your speed relatively high through the tunnel. Exit faster than you'd expect. Cut back faster than you'd expect so you don't go over the hump and then end up going into the guardrail. This is other advice I would personally recommend to myself. And if we could keep it full speed in the tunnel, and I think you totally can. But if you can keep it full speed in the tunnel, I refuse to believe the world is not your oyster. The world will be your oyster there. We did clip the wall. Just touching the wall on that one, it hurts us more than I'd like to admit. Yeah, not as much as doing, I don't know, 17 turns on a straightaway, though. It's alright, we got our work cut out for us today. It doesn't seem that bad. I mean, it took us until like 20 minutes yesterday to even complete a lap. So this, to me, seems like a marked improvement. I think we're slowing down way too much. Or are we slowing down just enough? I don't know yet. Now, I do know, until we clipped the railing there, that was like the best performance we'd ever had there. And then we almost always end up going up on the canyon wall there, so that's going to buy us a lot of time. That is going to buy us a lot of time. We're at the end of the course. All you got to do is stay a little left here. Oh my. We still made it. I think as soon as we get a clean lap, we're going to have the Michael Phelps. I guess Michael Phelps will be like 8 gold medals. But, you know, I'll settle for 1/8 of the Michael Phelps. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, don't clip the wall. Don't... Oh, you clipped the wall, dude! Who greased up this dirt? But this is a good track. And honestly, is exactly what I needed after yesterday. Yesterday, track was very difficult. If you didn't see yesterday's video, honestly, it might be some of the best driving we've ever had to do just to hit a base level of, like, feeling like we're doing okay. So this is, being able to realistically complete the track, like, 25% of the time is a huge improvement for me. I'm a very happy man as a result of that. Good. Keep your wheels relatively straight. That was a nice turn exit. We'll learn. We'll learn to stay closer to that left wall. Don't lose hope yet. Good stuff. Did not clip the wall. Straight through here. Probably could have kept the speed up, which is actually extremely important when you're going on dirt. But I think we're pretty clean now. We're up by about 2 seconds. And honestly, old me does really bad through this section. Like, right about here, it all goes wrong. So, cut 2 seconds off. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that that's not a gold. And I definitely think there is still a lot of room for improvement. And you know me, I'm a little stubborn. It's been said. It's been suggested. But I would still very much like, / love, to get the gold. Stick to the left wall. Heavy mistake, but we're still in here. I would very much like to get the gold before requiring the use of the ghosts. There's no doubt we're close. Going up on the canyon wall is going to be a pretty catastrophic mistake. Somehow we're still, if not ahead, at least in competition. I don't know how that happened. That can't be the way you're supposed to do it. The fact that we made it across a half second faster on that is actually staggering to me. Because we clipped the wall. Well, not clipped the wall, we actually drove on the wall. Well, you know what? That's probably the dream scenario in Trackmania. Is getting a new PB while making like a very obvious mistake. I think we clipped it there a little bit too. Because you know, like, hey, as long as I just do what I did last time, but don't make that mistake, like, everything's fine. Just pretty much where we're at right here. Don't drive on the canyon wall. All of a sudden, we cut off about half a second from our time. Still got about half a second ahead. And look at that. I mean, that's clean. I was going to say, we're talking gold medal city there. I'm a little surprised we're already top 4 BC. Admittedly, still pretty early in the day, but no, it's Ricky. We don't need to play against you. Did you make this track? Is that why you're here? It's kind of incredible. Let's get some Canadian opponents here. Let's see how we're doing. I'm starting to not recognize any names, dude. It's a scary thought. Where's Eater of Eggs? Or they might not be Canadian. They might be an Egg Carton member. This is putting us back. But, you know, I think the more reps we get on the course in general... Okay, not that time, though. But I'm already pleased with this performance. Not with that tunnel. Admittedly, that tunnel was ghastly. Like the base level Pokemon that evolves into Haunter and then Gengar. You ever think it's weird that, like, Gengar actually evolves to walk instead of fly? And if he does fly, why does he grow legs? I guess is what I'm asking. Because, like, from an evolutionary biology standpoint, the maintenance of that kind of musculature, you know, the caloric expenditure to make that sort of bone density required to actually, you know, walk as a terrestrial animal, like, it's quite a lot. You wouldn't think that they would do it for no reason. Let's put it that way. I'm just a little confused. Man, some of the ghosts go up on the canyon wall. Hold on, let me check something, because I do believe I can just look and see what the author medal is, too. So just give me a moment here. Just give me a moment here. Just give me a moment here. OpenTrackmania.com/TOTD. It's loading today. Saffron. Author medal is at 45.908. 45.908. And we have a 48.6. Alright, look, I can see on the site that there's leaderboards. People have hit the author medal, which is not surprising. I mean, the author has to set an author medal at some point too, right? So it's not surprising, yet at the same time, I'm like, man, that's one made for the platinum players. I might have to accept that, you know, as the Trackmania community sort of grows, I might be an author medal player by Ubisoft Nadio's perspectives. I wonder. No. But I think by the internet gamer parlance, if I can just keep pace with the goldies, that's going to be a mission accomplished for me, I think. Come around. Good. We are losing stuff there. Should analyze the ghosts more. I'm definitely guilty of thinking like we're just driving with our friends instead of actually trying to make sure that we're learning from the ghosts. So the ghosts, they take this turn a little tighter. They take this turn, I think, at full speed. Then here, you gotta slow down enough that you don't clip the wall. That's just science. Honestly, I was tunnel visioned on one of the ghosts that ended up clipping the wall, and when I saw that he clipped the wall, I was like, oh crap. All right, so what do we do? Okay, early, even if we can just eke out an extra 10th, you know, early every single time, that would be huge. I actually really like our line here, despite getting a little airtime. Shows what I know, because we're probably 3/10 behind. If you can just keep it gripped and ripped here. There you go. You're still in there. You're still in there. That was great wheel straightness. Lost a little more than I'd like there. But stayed on. Stayed on. Old me was pretty good here. Oh, we cut off 2/10, baby. That was pretty solid. We're finally in North America and the world context now. And I still felt like we had a lot to gain there. Like, this feels great. Old me was... Like, old me, which was new me very recently, was not too good at that section right there. We did clip our tires, but not enough to throw us. I can't believe we're half a second ahead. What the heck happened? Now, old me was great here. New me, not so bad either. That was roughly the same. That was a very solid corner. Hello, Ruka. Don't get so perturbed, buddy. I must have clipped it. I must have clipped it. Ruka! He just likes meowing. Don't sweat it. He likes to meow for no reason sometimes. And you know what? I'm here for it too. It's like this sweet sound. I got no complaints on that one. Alright. So I think this is our group right here. I think this is our cohort. I can have some fun here. And also feel like I got a chance to maybe... If I have the run of my lifetime, I think we're gonna make up a lot of speed there, yeah. I definitely feel like I've got the power in this one. I don't feel like every PB is impossible for us to recover from. We do have to keep full speed. Like in almost all the situations we got here, we can't let go of the gas. Which is... That was horrible, for the record, but is real rough. Like, this is an exception. We gotta make sure we're keeping our wheels as straight as possible, but not putting them into the gourd rail. Oh, man, okay. But, you know, I'm just trying to keep in perspective that at this point yesterday, I don't even know if we had completed the track a single time. This is getting locked into the cerebrum. Not every time, but we're closing the gap on every time. Can't touch that, so we're going to lose, yeah, a couple positions here. Old me was very fast here. Probably faster than that, yeah. Kept good wheel straightness for sure. But new me was way faster through that section. Full Salamanca, but look at the turn. Look at it. And here's the problem. You can't ever not accelerate here. Oh my god. Look at that. We did clip the wheels at the end, but that's still going to put us, you know, that's going to move us way up on the leaderboards here. Give me some new opponents. You know what? Give me opponents from North America. I can't believe it. We're only 19 minutes in, and we're chunking through cohorts, no problem here. So we're about a second off from the best time here. And I gotta say, a little Canadian respect. Always nice to see a Canadian doing well on the North American leaderboards. It's not that we're necessarily less talented at driving, but there are a lot less of us. So I appreciate it much. Okay, we're getting a little, I wouldn't say rattled. We're just starting to kind of lose our focus. Our focus is getting spoiled like Vamos, the blacksmith from Dark Souls. I could tell that one was not really making good progress. Yeah, and then as soon as you clip the wall, it might as well cancel Christmas on that one, but definitely don't do that either. I would go ahead and call that this is a much better performance than yesterday, but I do also wish to inform everybody watching that I really thought we did play well yesterday, and the track made us look like fools. But that's okay. I'm willing to look like a fool in Trackmania. And you know, it's in the service of learning to be better in the future. A lot of people see yesterday's track and they just go, this is impossible. No, thank you. Not I. We're going to lose a lot there. No, because old me was not as good as old me in that section. That's true. But you can't really afford to clip the wall there. But I think we're dialed today. Honestly, Elon should just watch this video. And then, I mean, he can stop working on the self-driving car algorithm. Just digitize my thoughts and fine motor functions here, and I'll get you to Google Campus. Solid, good speed. Cut it off at the apex. Didn't have to slow down there. Honestly, I lost a lot of confidence there. Kept the wheels. Oh, we did keep the wheels straight, but that was... Look, wait, we're learning something. This course, as our current run, we legitimately have about another 4/10 to 6/10, I think, that I can cut off without even starting to struggle. Unless you consider this struggle. Which you may. That was a little weird. We were a little on the outside there, but... we made up for it. We'll probably get passed by our ghost. This corner really matters a lot. We were not even close to getting passed by our ghost. We're going to get passed by our ghost now. What happened? I don't want to talk about it. My line was slightly perturbed. That's all you need to know. Now here, I don't think we're making up any time. Especially if we clip the wall there. But, you know, I think that this track actually has a very, very low skill floor. Skill ceiling, obviously, is insane. If you're asking me to cut almost 5 seconds off this lap to get the author time. I'll be honest, as soon as I saw the author time just now, I kind of pushed what it was in my head. Or out of my head. Because I'm like, we don't need to worry about that all that much. So I think the most important thing here, it's not a full speed track, I think. But a good start is very, very important. Because it sets you up with the optimal line for the future. Like that's, we did have to lay off a little there, but being a 1/4 of a second up. Very solid stuff. I don't mind this. I don't mind that at all. I clipped it. I clipped it, dude. Clip me now. Okay, that's good. And I think I'm learning. Just keep that throttle active, dude. On this turn, I definitely think the brake tap is probably not what you're going to be looking for long term. But I think for now, it's allowing us to kind of cement some good lines. I love this. You want to exit on the right side. Carry a staggering amount of speed into this. Didn't go up on the canyon wall, but we definitely did lose something. Ladies and gentlemen, another cohort. Another cohort has been faded, and I still think we can do better. Give me opponents from North America. Oh, we got another Jerwy! It's the Trackmania admin. What are they up on me by here? Like 3/10? I think it's beatable, Jerwy. Look, this is probably just your morning run before you send your replay off to the coach, and then oh, I love a gray split, dude. And then the coach is going to give you some tips to come and blow this score out of the water. But, don't clip, let's go. I gotta admit, I think we got a chance here. Oh, we didn't clip. But I thought we clipped, so I deviated from my line. I'm not that worried about the author medals anymore. Of course, You know, if you're authoring, get it? Like, if you're offering, I might be persuaded, or persuadable. But realize that, you know, the author medal is... I'm starting to see it more like Trials now, if that makes sense. This is like Trials Mania. Sometimes you gotta just recognize there are situations where beating a level is the most important thing. Obviously, beating it faultless would be, you know, incredible. But perhaps not at the risk of one's own sanity. We're gonna beat us. We're gonna beat us. I don't know, is that me? I'm gonna hit the wall. Oh, I'm not. There's no way we're making up time on this one. Yeah, okay. But it's tight down there. It's tight in the final stretch, but I really think it's a situation we don't have to be perfect. I think we just have to be competitive and then better at a couple of elements. Like, sometimes, and I'm not sure what causes it, but sometimes I leave that section and I'm like speeding like the greatest driver in Earth's history. Like, I had to let that one go. We didn't clip it. We're still in here. That hurt though. That was a solid turn for speed. We're gonna be in competition with ourselves. I had to let go of the throttle there for a second, or at least felt like I had to. That hurts. That hurts. But we were in there. We're proven, you know, this is competition. Good stuff. Good. Ah, yeah. 26 minutes in, dude. You can tell it's a good episode for racing, because I have not had the banter at all. You can tell it's a bad episode for banter, because I've just been 100% focused on racing. I'm honestly a fan, at least at our current level, of that brake tap. The brake taps on the dirt, I think, are making me way more consistent. Now, old me, man, they crushed that section. If you crush this section, or that section, you get a ton of speed going into this one. Our line was bad, but we're going to be competitive again. We're gonna be behind, but not by enough to be upset. I mean, everybody in this cohort is within 7/10. We're talking about, like, PB City. Now, that was a fantastic start. Little slow, and then okay, that's fine, that's fine. It's absolutely A-okay. Gotta lay off the throttle slightly, it's okay. Anyway, you know, well, because we're in the grind section of the course now, for sure. How's everybody doing? It's Monday over here, Tuesday for you. Hey, if you're watching this, you got nothing to do a little later today, you know, 8 hours from the time this video comes out, starting at 11 a.m. PT. Come watch Team Unity. We're going to be live playing Call of Duty Warzone. They patched the game so they no longer have eldritch creatures masquerading as your guns, which is pretty sick. I'm excited. I'm excited to do some fragging. I can't believe our tires clipped the wall and we're still competitive, although we are definitely going to lose. We did beat... We were up by 0.08 for one, and we beat one of the splits, or one of the ghosts. Despite my tires clipping the wall, well, the dirt. Anyway. Unity was a little tense last week, but, you know, it's how she goes, you know? It's why, honestly, why Unity works well together is because we can, you know, get a little tense and then untensify it the next week with several back-to-back wins in a row. You got 4 people, you know, they're all vibing with one another. You don't know what's going on in anybody's brain at any given moment. We're still in there. We're still in there. It's one of our great strengths as entertainers, I think, is bouncing back. That one I should have braked. Should have hit the brakes on that one. Skirt. I don't know about this. But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a good week. I mean, just for games in general. I can't remember. I think Rogue Legacy 2 might come out this week. But everybody is like more hyped for the real AAA release. No offense, Cellar Door Games. I'm very much looking forward to checking out Rogue Legacy too. But Microsoft Flight Simulator free on Game Pass. Which, you know, if you want to get in an argument about how that's not technically free, you'd be absolutely right. But, you know, it's cheap. Let's put it that way. Everybody's pogged out of their gourd. Definitely interested in doing some flights. YVR to SeaTac. You know, maybe a little SFO to LAX. Maybe a little Heathrow. I don't know Heathrow's code, honestly. I think it's like LHO. LHR? To Charles de Gaulle, CDG. I mean, if you're a relatively recent convert to the egg carton, you might not be familiar, but I already own a HOTUS. It's not a great one. It's like an entry-level, like $60 Thrustmaster or something. That was my nickname in college. But I played a lot of X-Plane. And I've forgotten everything, but I always had a great time with it. That was like, when I first started taking days off, that's oftentimes how I started my days off, was with like 2 short-haul flights in flight simulators. I don't know how to explain it. I think if you get flight sims or other simulator games, you just get it. You don't need it explained. If you don't, it's kind of hard to explain, but there's a certain like thrill, or at least like a very pleasant feeling you get from just like doing a job properly. And there's this, like, I think there's something unique about flight to begin with, you know? It's associated with so many things, you know, freedom and travel, and, you know, it's kind of like a really cool scientific phenomenon. We did lose a little there, but I'm stoked. So flight sims are the most interesting to me for sure, until I lost it right there. But yeah, I'm eager to give it a try. I don't know if it's going to be great. I think there are going to be streamers out there who are going to be able to make it great viewership. I don't know if I'm going to be one of them. And the interesting thing is, like, when you play niche things on... I mean, I think it'll work for a little bit, for sure. I think the novelty is going to be cool for people. But when you play, like, simulation-heavy stuff on stream, I think it can work as a little bit of variety, but the problem, or, you know, the bonus for flight sims, if you're really into it, is, you know, very rarely... I mean, there's lots of, like, short flights you could take, but for the most part, you know, you're talking about, like, multiple hour sort of situations. If you want to fly, like, ORD to ICN, you know, you're talking about, like, it's like a 13-hour flight or something like that, right? So it's the kind of thing that's tough to stream. So I always like the idea, I think Malf did it once, of doing like a flight simulator stream, and you stream takeoff and like getting to cruising altitude, and then you just leave it running in the background, and then play another game, and you just check in every now and then. You know, you're like, oh, we got 40 minutes till we need to be, till we need to turn our heading a little bit. See, that's great right there. That's actually still pretty great. Don't clip it. That's okay, we're still going straight here. Now, of course, in real life, you wouldn't want your pilot doing that, but, and I knew we were going to hit the wall there. We just lost a lot of traction, but in real life, you wouldn't want your pilot doing that, but in real life, you know, your pilot is doing their job, not playing a video game, you know? Just something about a flight sim that's just enjoyable. I don't know how to explain it. I think if you're not into it, it's definitely insanely boring. Like, once Flight Sim comes out and a lot of variety streamers start playing it for a bit, I think you are going to see a level of complaints in the chat. Not necessarily in my chat, but in, you know, just on Twitch in general, that has not been seen for a long time. People will be begging. I know I said there's too much Fall Guys, but please go back to Fall Guys. I thought we were going to be in there. I mean, honestly, I still don't think we're tapped out on this course. Even though it's been a while since we put down a very solid lap. That's definitely not... You know what? It didn't help I think, but it didn't hurt nearly as much as I thought it would. As long as we're not hitting the wall. Had to let off the throttle just slightly there, which admittedly is a misstep. This is a course where at our current level, we can make missteps. Bro. Okay, so we got a new PB. Didn't move us at all, which is totally fair. If we hadn't clipped our tires at the end, I think we were knocking off another couple of tenths, but you know, that's in the history books now. But like I said, just getting that PB is like psychologically very helpful for us. We're on 35 minutes here. But yeah, I'm excited for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But it's a very dadly game, let's put it that way. I don't know if it's the kind of game you could play where you know what? I totally think it's the kind of game that you can play while also raising a child on the side. Because you really only need to pay attention during takeoff. And I mean, it depends on how heavy you get. Like, I know there's like Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 servers where, like, you know, people are extremely, like, it's multiplayer and they're extremely anal about, like, using the call signs and stuff like that, which I actually think is totally cool if you are an enthusiast. Like, that kind of stuff happens at Arma too. I would just never join those particular servers because I know it's not for me. But, you know, for the most part, and I'm being sincere here, I know this sounds very forehead, but for the most part, you only need to pay attention during, like, takeoff, approaching cruising altitude, and then, like, landing requires your 100% of your focus. But everything else, I mean, when you're cruising, it might, and you might be confused, and also you're like, please stop talking about flight simulators, I'm done. Nope. But like, you might say, why would you ever like boot up a flight simulator just to put it on autopilot the whole time? It sounds weird, and maybe you do hit a point when you're like, I don't want to put it on autopilot anymore. You know, I'd rather just fly the whole time. But like, to be honest with you, it's something about like just learning to use the in-flight computer is kind of like figuring out how to use like redstone in Minecraft. Like, you're just stoked. You're like, just the fact that I'm able to use this machine is empowering and enjoyable. And would you look at that? I don't know if we were top split out of this cohort, but we moved up drastically. That's why we talk about flight sims, baby. I just want to see. Oh, we were 0.04. all right. We're very close to being at the end of this one. You know we got to play against our followers. I want to see where we're at in the egg carton too, because I think we're in a good spot today. And we'll probably turn off, you know, just about all of these ghosts, because there's a lot of them. And this is a pretty tight track in terms of, you know, knowing when to turn. We're not quite, I'm just going to sit for a second. We're not quite at the tippy top. We need to cut off like another 2 tenths. Let's just see. Let's just see how we're doing here. The sound gets a little heavy. I know we did clip there, but for some reason we still seem to be... Okay, you know what? Change opponents. Play alone. Stopwatch. Egg carton. Yeah. And then what's our 46.282? We'll put Yo-Yo Kid in there as well. And we'll close this. I don't expect to be in the top. But I'm hoping that by focusing on only the ghosts that are better than us, it will force us to be better as well. We're going to be high on this corner. Wish I was high on puppies. Oh, dude, okay, so they're getting a lot of time off me right there. So I think that's a good indication. I don't know if it's a power slide, but they're definitely not doing, like, straight wheels. They're doing a drift there. It's a much better corner, even though we're still on the outside, which is clearly not what you're supposed to do. So let's try that again. You know, we're already learning that we want to be... That's not how you do it. But we're already learning that we want to be... Sure, that's maybe a little cute, but... Just looking at their corner. Their corner is super tight to that apex, which makes a lot of sense. Just doing that and then keeping the rest of our lap solid might honestly be enough. Although I did, yeah, I screwed up my line there because of my exit, but sure, that is a very good piece of feedback we can get from the early part of this lap. Thank you, Ghosts. I really appreciate it. I mean, if we could set like one more PB, I think I would be pretty pleased. I don't think we're gonna have a sniff of the author medal today. But again, the author medal is somewhat arbitrary. I gauge myself by feel. Now, very rarely you might say, how could it be the case that you're happy with your Trackmania performance every day? Well, I wouldn't say I'm like thrilled with my Trackmania performance every day. Yeah, we're losing a lot there. What I would say is that the Trackmania video length being variable allows me to just play until I'm happy, you know, or until I'm content. So we hit contentedness a lot faster today than we did yesterday, but, you know, to some extent, there's almost like it's a static joy coefficient. It's so hard to get out of the habit of hitting the brake there. So I want to, oopsie, snip, snip, I want to cut it off. Sorry, I finished Deadly Premonition 2 yesterday. Now, this is a better corner as long as we don't clip the wall there. Or there, for that matter. I don't think I clipped it. Okay. Alright, okay, now I don't think that was necessarily faster, but that was with no brakes. I think this corner plays a big role too, if you can just get the perfect line here. We're well back. And again, I mean, I'd like to be up there so I can see how they handle that one, to be honest. But they're so far ahead of me, it's hard to learn from them. But you know what? We learn early, we learn often. That's a great corner. I'll admit it. I laid off the throttle, but look at this, we're still in there. Still hip, we're still with it. Had to turn too much there. An acceptable entrance. Man. Learning a lot here. One is my PB, pretty good. The other one is the top racers in the egg carton. They got it going on. I mean, we can compete with the admins, but the true esports professionals, I don't know about that one. This might be where we're kind of tapped out. I mean, I'm really happy with my time. I think we maintain our mantle of being regionally significant. It's really like regionally and temporally significant. That one probably would have benefited from a little break, honestly. Because we're like regionally significant, but we're really regionally significant in the morning. That's when things work out the best for us. Once we enter the evening hours, times don't always look so good. But I really think if we can, like, I mean, in practice, we should be able to beat our previous Ghost through the first couple of corners. You know, like, this part is a wash, but then that first corner where we learned from the Ghosts, followed by that first dirt uphill, I think that's where we stand to gain. I mean, that's obviously a bad start there, but no. I think that's where, if we could get ahead of ourselves by even like 2 or 3 tenths, I think we're beatable or at least comparable on the back stretch of the course. You know, I mean, the back stretch of the course, the way we've driven it is relatively easy. we're... No, that actually seems like a really good turn there. We lost something. And then we lost more as it went along. I don't know, maybe, to be honest with you, what if we just drove our normal race? And instead of trying to keep pace with these ghosts, we learn from them at elements that we're not doing so hot on. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, in theory, it's like we just took, like, the LSATs, right? We got a question wrong, and then we looked up the right answer. We don't need to know every right answer to do better than our old self. We just need to know what our old self knew, or do what our old self did, and then also add in this one new answer, and we should have a chance at a PB. But I'm definitely, like, I'm content. And it's hard to be ambitious when you're content, you know? A full person is, sated. Now we're up here. Solid turn. I'm mad at myself because there was no reason to get so Verstappen to that railing. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen the gifs maybe of Max Verstappen. Like, here he is coming around turn 13 in Singapore. Look at how close he gets to the wall. We didn't need to do that. Like, there's no reason for us to flex. We'd gotten what we asked for, in that we were up a couple of tenths. A few tenths, actually. I don't like it. I don't want it. It's Jon Snow, sweetheart. Maybe you've heard of it. Who's Jon Snow? The president of Punam. Is that correct? In the Hunger Games? Where does the Hunger Games take place? Panem! Okay. Anyway, I think this is going to be our last one. If you enjoyed the episode, hope you'll come by tomorrow. Tuesday Trackmania videos are always weird because of Team Unity. We got to do one more real one. So they always come out they come out at the same time on Wednesday, but they're recorded a little bit later, which is actually nice because we get a bit of a feel for how we are in the overall leaderboards. Much more representatively. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I like it. I like it. Stay up. We can make up some time. It's maybe a little bit too turny. I think that's going to do it. I think I'm tapped out on this one, but I do, I'm proud of myself. I want to see how we did. Top 3 BC for now, top 39 egg carton for now is very fair. For now, though, thanks for watching. Please do keep clicking the like button if you're enjoying the episodes. It helps me out a great deal, especially as we're, doing these every single day except Saturdays. But for now, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time. See ya.